This GIE we did to Tobago. We were working with a community partner called ERIC, which is the Environmental Research Institute of Charlotteville in Tobago. They are responsible for conservation in the entire northeast Tobago. And one of the outcomes of that Global Resolve project that I worked on with my students was sort of increasing the visibility of the work that ERIC does. And one of the ideas sort of coming out of that was to have this exchange, this study abroad or an exchange program, bringing students to ERIC to help with the work that they're doing. The goal of the GIE was to help ERIC with their coral reef restoration project. So for this particular project, they are harvesting and restoring coral reefs that are essentially dying in the northeast Tobago region. Doing this work is really important because it allows for the health and the diversity of the reefs, and the reefs play a very important part in protecting the shores of the island. On this particular trip, we took 15 students, and we took 15 because we were quite limited. We wanted to have initially a small group of students, and we were limited in the number of students that we sort of wanted to take because of the requirements for the trip. One of the requirements for the trip, as we're doing coral reef restoration, is that we needed students to be PADI certified. So they had to have scuba diving certification. I am a biological sciences major, so it was intriguing to see an opportunity to do coral restoration work. And at the same time, it was, I guess, applying a skill which I had been interested in but had never gotten around to doing, which was scuba diving. So that was, I guess, a perfect 2-for-1 to get into it. Yeah. We're not asking students to come with knowledge of corals or biological knowledge or anything like that, or knowledge of oceans. The programs are designed in a way that students are learning on site. They're able to grasp the ideas behind conservation for the corals, the importance of the corals, and the work that they're doing with the harvesting and the restoration. Everything was done in conjunction with ERIC, our partner. They were sort of guiding us through with the lectures, so the students were aware every day the work that they're doing, the impact of the work, and how to do the work. I think for me, one of the best experiences would be just seeing the students in the water. They were so alive when they were scuba diving. But when they started doing the restoration work, harvesting the reefs and replanting, they came out and they felt like such an accomplishment that they're doing something to actually help the environment. And that was great to see that satisfaction on their faces as well, to know that they're doing something that's so useful and so helpful.
My most favorite memory was, of course, diving. I think it was the initial diving when we were just going around identifying creatures. We got to see quite a few different species, and just seeing all the vibrancy down in the ocean. Just being able to be out there in the water and in nature and just see all of these animals go about their daily lives. And there was also free time that we had, and being able to go to the beach and body surf a little bit was also really cool.
I think these GIE trips are very important to Barrett and our students here at Barrett. These trips offer our students opportunities to work with and in different cultures and amongst different communities. Students, a lot of times, one of the things that we pride ourselves at Barrett and at ASU is that idea of interdisciplinarity and inclusivity. And I think a lot of what we do when we go to these communities is that we're taking those ideas and allowing ourselves to work, to interact, to understand the needs of different communities.
Just getting to experience a different culture is always fun. I felt like we really became a part of the village for the week that we were there, and so I was really grateful that everyone was so welcoming to us. I would absolutely recommend this to other Barrett students. It is an incredible opportunity if you want to get outside your comfort zone a little bit. So it was an amazing opportunity to just broaden your horizons. Yeah. It is such a great experience. You can come into it with any sort of background. I came into it myself as an African American Studies major. I had a little bit of a biology background, but not as much as some of the other people on the trip, and I was still able to enjoy myself, feel like I was a productive member of the team when we were out there diving. So I'd recommend it to anyone who wants to do it.
I think these global intensive experiences are very important to our students. especially for our Barrett students, we're learning in the classroom. That learning starts with the human event, and we talk a lot about these exchange of ideas, contact with different cultures, understanding different ideas from different parts of the world. And I think students need that richness of going abroad, actually having that interaction with other cultures, being exposed to different ideas, not just sitting back and saying, oh, I see that happening, but actually having that experience of going to a different place, coming out of your comfort zone. As so many of our students, this was their first trip abroad, their first travel experience, and we're there to guide them and help them with that journey.